Okay, hello, welcome. My name's Shradagita. Welcome to all the carers. So this class is about rest, and also it's a class that you might want to do before you go to sleep, or if you want to have an afternoon nap, it might be good to do this first. So we're going to do a few things to help us rest. When you're a carer, it can be really hard to take time to rest. Um, you all do so much and look after people sort of, every day, every hour. So this is a treat for you, hopefully, where you can rest a little bit. So one of the things that we often need to do to rest is to relax a lot of the big muscles in our body. So we're going to start with some gentle cat-cows, which you'll have done before. If you've got a yoga mat, great. If you haven't, maybe just get a blanket for your knees. And if you've got sort of knees that struggle on the floor, make sure you've got plenty of padding. So then we're going to bring our hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. And we're just going to move with the breath, lifting our chest and our sitting bones on the inhale. And then as we exhale, pressing the earth away and rounding our back. So the knees are under the hips, wrists underneath the shoulders, fingers are spread, and on the inhale we lift the chest and the sitting bones. On the exhale, we round the body. So we're just stretching out our back, which might be feeling quite tight. It might be feeling a bit shortened from all the things we've been doing today. So this is a nice way of just lengthening out the back in a very, very simple way, just moving between these two poses. So on the inhale, we lift the sit bones, lift the chest. And on the exhale, we round. We press the tops of our feet down and our hands, and then we inhale again and we exhale. And then coming back to neutral. And then we're going to tuck our toes, and either you could just come back like this into a half dog pose with your toes tucked. That's possible. Or you can lift the knees a little bit, bend the knees, and stretch the hands away and just come into a soft downward dog. Just move the head a little bit, releasing the head. Spread the toes, spread the fingers. This is a nice, really nice stretch for the back. But again, you can do this on your knees. Just walk the arms forward a bit, press the hands, and this is a nice stretch for the back too. So just finding which one you can happily, easily do, and where you can still breathe. So in order to rest, we also need to really breathe and ground. So keep breathing, keep grounding. And then let your knees drop, and we're going to come into a child's pose. And you might, if you've got some cushions, want to get those, or if you've got a bolster, you might want to get those. And then bring the cushions, or the first cushion, to just in between your knees and your thighs. And then we're going to come forward holding the cushion and let our right cheek, right ear come onto the cushions. And if you don't have cushions handy, then it's fine just to do this like this. You could turn your head a little bit, or you can have the forehead on the ground. But if you have got cushions, it's really nice support, and it also brings the ground up a little bit so the chest doesn't have to go down so far, and it can be supported. And if your bottom doesn't quite come onto your feet, then maybe put a little cushion there as well. You could close your eyes and really start to find some rest in this pose, find some quiet. And then after a minute or so, you can turn your cheek the other way. I'm going to keep mine this way or you won't be able to hear me, so you could turn your cheek to the left this time. So left ear comes down onto the ground as well. And that means both sides of your neck get stretched. Again, let the chest rest here. And let the breath soothe you, so the breath can really soothe our system. It's like it can give you an internal massage. So see if you can start to really connect with your breath. Have a sense of it soothing the body, soothing the mind. Gently massaging the body from the inside. So letting the eyes close, letting the face soften. And then slowly coming up from there. And then we're just going to lie on our backs for a moment. I'm going to hug the knees towards the chest. This is a nice way as well of finding our way to rest. So just hugging the knees towards you for a moment. And then to stretch out the hip on each side. First of all, we're going to bring the left foot down and we're going to reach our right foot up in the air first of all. So just stretch the toes a little bit. If you can, you could hold behind that leg. And then see if you can just bring the right ankle across the left knee. And let the right knee move away from the body. And then just let the hands rest beside you. And let the hip gently open and release. You could imagine that you're breathing all the way down to the hip, sending your breath there, opening, softening there. Great, and then we'll do the other side, so stretching that right foot up and then bringing it down again. And this time lifting your left foot up. If you want to, for a moment, bringing the hands behind the thigh, you could just stretch the toes a little bit. And heel. And then bring that left ankle across your right knee and let the left knee and hip start to open a little. Hands by the side, breathing here. Letting the shoulders melt down the back. And just letting the hips slowly release. Sometimes we have to just stay in a pose for a little while to give the body a chance to release, to give the muscles time to release. And that can really help us prepare for rest and sleep. And then we can lift that leg up again, the left leg, bring it down, and have both feet on the ground. And we're just going to do a few hip raises and lifting our back off the floor. So you could press your palms down next to you and just walk your heels in a little bit towards your bottom. Have the knees facing forward and try and keep the knees roughly hip width apart. And then with our breath, on the inhale, we can slowly lift our bottom off the ground, then our hips and our back, pressing the backs of the arms and the hands into the ground. Just lift up a little bit, pressing into the feet, and then exhaling, let the back come down again. So just doing that a few times and remembering that the back and hips don't have to lift very high. We're just giving them a little stretch and then we're releasing again. So just doing that 3 more times. Of course, if you want to lift a little bit higher each time, you can do that as well. And that will also just stretch the belly a little bit and the chest. Last one. And then slowly coming all the way down. And again, just hugging our knees towards our chest. And this time having a hand on each knee, keeping the knees together and just drawing some really small circles. Our lower back will really like this, and it just helps release any tensions in our lower back. So just going in both directions with that. And then let the feet come down to the ground again, about hip width apart. Let the knees drop together and just place the hands on the belly. Close your eyes. Just start to tune into the movement of the belly under your hands, the breath under your hands. And if after a little while you want to stretch the legs out completely, you could do that. You could also put some cushions under the backs of your knees, or a bolster if you've got one, keeping the hands on the belly. Cover yourself with a blanket. Make sure you're nice and warm, and just let yourself rest here. Giving ourselves just even a few moments of rest can really help to rejuvenate our body and restore the body to a state of more kind of equilibrium. So you can stay here as long as you want to, as long as you have time for. And as you do that, let all your limbs be heavy, so the legs, the arms, the hips, the back. Even the weight of the head can be heavy on the ground. You don't have to hold it up just now. So do stay like this for as long as you want to. And when you're ready to come up, you can just bring the feet back onto the ground, knees bent. You can roll onto your side. And you could just rest your head in the crook of your arm And you could curl the knees up towards your chest and just rest here for a moment or two. Just giving yourself a last moment or two of rest on your side. And then using your hands, your hand and your foot and legs, you can slowly push yourself up. And just come to a seated position. You could just end with a moment of a breathing pause or a breathing space, which if you've come to the LBC, you'll have learned that, where we just become aware of ourselves sitting here, breathing, the sensations of breath. We broaden out to include the sounds around us, the space around us. And then we come back to ourselves sitting here with our breath. And then we open our eyes. So I hope this class leads you to a state of rest.